myself in the fucking head. Boston PD, suck on my toes and gag on them, or I'll shoot myself in the foot. Boston PD, put on a size 12 heels and step on my nuts.
You have been slain. does that mean? Are you a hustler? What was she implying?
That I was using Barbara.
Wow.
That I was a hairdresser with the biggest star in the world.
Isn't that crazy? She would never dare ask that question if you were a woman.
No.
And you know, you were with Roger Moore or whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Never.
She was angry, you know, and yeah, she was
That's
angry.
a wild question to ask someone. Like a person who's a hairdresser can't fall in love with some famous singer.
Yeah.
That's not possible.
Yeah. Well,
like are they out of reach?
Yeah, I think that the fact that I was making decisions for her, or not making decisions, I was creating alternatives for her, and she was like, "Yeah, man, Star is Born was something that when I first read it." I called her and I said, I read this thing. She said, "You schmuck, it's been made 3 times before." And she hung up the phone on me. That was 1976.
Wow.
You know, and that's when I met Elvis.
I went through your IMDb. Holy shit, have you produced a lot of movies.
Yeah. A lot of marijuana, man. A lot of getting fucked up, Jack.
You made so many movies, man.
Yeah, over 100.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, because I always was a storyteller. And as a kid, I didn't always tell the truth, but they were my stories. My life became my story. My stories became my life. The things that I'm doing today are things that I said I would do. I was in love with Ali. I made Ali the life story of. I was in love with Presley. I wanted him to be in Star is Born. We flew up to Vegas, and we met with him. And he was so fat he couldn't sit in a chair. He was about 100 pounds overweight.
Wow.
And he said, "I got a problem, man. I got a problem." I said, "What's your problem?" He said, "I'm having a fight with my girlfriend." And I said, "What does that mean?" He says, "Well, she's flying in my 747 for 2 hours. I haven't decided whether to let her land or not." So, yeah, so I've been lucky. I've been a really blessed, lucky guy.
Did you meet Elvis when he was doing karate?
Yeah.
So that was when he was Ed Parker's student?
No. I met him once when he was really fat. And Colonel Parker called me and said he wants to do the movie, but you can't be a part of it. So I called because I was a producer. I created it. I wrote it. It was my thing, man. I was obsessed with this movie. And the love story was me and Barbara. We copied it. And Barbara said, "Fuck him." I said, "Fuck you." And so he didn't do it. And then later, after the movie, Priscilla Presley called me and said to me, "I got to tell you, he wanted to see it on opening day." And he did. And he cried that he didn't do it because I would have gotten to the other side of Elvis. I would have got to the pain. I would have got to the feelings. I would have got past the other thing. It would have been gigantic because I saw that in him. I could feel the pain in him.
So when you met him, it was towards the end then? Like
Yes,
this time?
Towards the end.
Did you watch the film, the new one? The new Elvis movie?
Fantastic.
It's amazing, right?
Yes, because they did it differently.
Yeah,
They
did
did
an
a completely
amazing
different
job.
take. It was amazing.
Just the way it was edited and put together with all the the things in between the scenes, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was so good. But it's like that story is such a unique story because there had never been a person like him before that was that famous.
Ever.
He
Still gives me chills, man.
Michael Jackson was like the next one,
Yeah,
right?
he
There'd
was
never been someone like him either.
Michael Jackson and I went to him when I was in Star is Born. Batman. And I had Prince to do the music. And I wanted Michael to do the warring theme. So it was like a fight. So Michael Jackson plays Batman, the guy, and Prince plays the Joker, Jack Nicholson. But Michael backed out. We became friends. He took me to his house. He showed me Thriller. And he said, I showed him this because you did American Werewolf in London, and I copied you to do Thriller.
Wow. American Werewolf in London is the greatest horror movie of all time.
Yes, I wrote that. I didn't write it.
You saw The Wolf Out There? Yeah. I fucking worshiped that movie.
Yeah.
That movie was so fun. It was such a great movie because it was such a great combination of sheer terror and comedy.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It's an amazing movie.
That's what we did.
It stands the test of time.
Yeah.
I watched it again like a year ago. It's fucking great.
John Landis.
Oh.
He's the guy that unfortunately. Yeah.
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 His that American Werewolf in London movie, what you guys did was it's just a real like a horror classic.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a few like The Shining. There's a few classics. American Werewolf in London is the monster movie classic. This episode is brought to you by True Classic. I wear my True Classic loungewear all the time when I'm hanging around the house. So You can only imagine how excited I was when I heard that they were developing a new line of activewear that I could wear during workouts as well. With moisture-wicking, odor-controlling, antibacterial, and quick-drying fabric, the Active Tee will keep up with whatever effort you're putting into your exercise routine, both inside and outside the gym. Plus, if you pair it with their poly spandex joggers or shorts, you've got a workout set comfortable enough to wear every day. With over 10,000 five-star reviews, True Classic is quickly becoming a ton of men's go-to apparel brand. They've got great fitting outerwear, underwear, formal wear, and loungewear. And if you don't feel like shopping, they even offer curated packs so you can let True Classic do the work for you. Go to trueclassic.com and use the promo code Rogan for 25% off. That's trueclassic.com with the promo code Rogan for 25% off. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Everyone seems to be selling something these days, and people have to hustle a little extra hard to get by, and one way to set yourself away from the rest is Squarespace. Stand out in any inbox with Squarespace email campaigns. You start with an email template and customize it yourself by applying your brand ingredients like site colors and logo. There's built-in analytics that measure the impact of every send, so you can watch those email subscribers tick up and transform into loyal customers, and then go even further with their advanced set of analytics to learn where your site visits and sales are coming from and analyze which channels are most effective. And all these tools combined so you can improve your website and build a marketing strategy based on your top keywords or most popular products and content. Head over to squarespace.com/Joe for a free trial. Then when you're ready to launch, use the offer code Joe to save 10% off your first purchase of a website.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that I was lucky enough to do was Caddyshack, and everybody golfs, so I'm going to make a drink of that. And
Nice.
I just got off the phone with Shaq. I'm gonna put everybody together in this motherfucker. It's the elite, which will be Billy, Chevy, that own the club, and they one day get made of it. Now all the guys, parts of the guys that have money, but they definitely take over the club. But these guys will sell, and it's going to be a very funny story.
Wow. How come nobody's done another good werewolf movie?
Because any movie that you make is a gift from God. They're so hard.
Is that what it is?
It's hard, man. I give people Academy Award just for getting the movie made. The pieces, the agents, the story, the acting, the distribution, the this, the that, the bullshit, the lying, the cheating. It's impossible.
Wow.
I have a movie that I'm going to do called Africa. And it's like out of Africa. And Eric Roth wrote it, who wrote he's one of the greatest writers in Hollywood. And he wrote it 22 years ago for me. I've been developing this for 20 years because I never got the love story right. I had Brad Pitt, I had Angelina Jolie. They broke up, the story fell apart. But I'm working now on getting the love story, and I'm going to make the movie. It's about a journalist doing a story on a guy who's trying to stop the poaching and the killing of all the animals in Africa. Beautiful love story, loses 2 legs. He got he got shot down by the poachers. And we see the whole black experience and the culture, and they have one day of fighting. You see swords and shit. It makes all in the African culture.
What excites you most about making movies at this point in your life? Stories.
Yeah. Like
Does this gotta excite you?
Like Dana White fucking makes me crazy. Crazy. I love him. He wrote me something, JP, I love you. I love you, motherfucker. And he could box. He was going to box Knucklehead. Tito Ortiz. I saw that on the thing. I was like, fuck, got big balls. Tito's not tough.
Tito? Tito's not tough?
No, he's tough.
Oh, yeah,
he's not tough.
Very tough. Very tough. I was like, man, you have high standards.
No, he's not. No.
I understand what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Although on the standards, the fight that fella in the show before last with blood all over the face. That
happened so often. Which fight was that?
Right, no, he put the blood.
Oh, Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, he was
and Paulo Costa.
Brilliant.
That
Until
crazy.
that moment. Then I thought it was a poor loser. I mean, he should have, as opposed to the heavy Samoan guy who got beat up by the big black guy. He was a great loser.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Tuivasa.
Took his kids, took his thing.
I think Rockhold and that guy had so many bad words to say to each other, like during training camp.
Probably what it was.
To it.
It was like biting of the ear, like Tyson biting the ear.
Well, except it's legal. Like, you're allowed to, like, smear your blood all over a guy. And guys do it all the time. They just don't do it that blatantly.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, if guys have, like, a cut on their head, you will oftentimes see them, like, leaning towards a guy's face.
Yeah, during the fight. Yeah.
They know that blood sucks to get in your eye. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
But it's legal.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that they're actively trying to pursue as a technique. But if they find that they're believing in some of their forwards, you see the guy's face right there, they'll just do it. But what Luke Rockhold did was crazy. Yeah. He's rubbed his bloody nose all over the guy's face.
He's a bit of a bitch.
Luke Rockhold is?
Yeah.
I would not say that.
No, in my opinion, as an audience.
For doing that?
No, just in general.
Really?
The way he behaves. It's just something about him that, I don't know, I see him as an actor, I see him as a movie star, I see him, but then that fight, he was amazing. So maybe he isn't a bit,
he's cursed with being impossibly good looking.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's a big part of it. It's easy
He's
to
so
hate him.
pretty. Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it is. It bothers me.
Yeah.
I always say that the only reason anyone gets laid is because Luke Rockhold didn't show up first.
Yes, it's true. And he's got a beautiful body.
He's perfect.
And he's tall.
Yeah, and so that bothers people. So if he was just a regular guy, it wouldn't bother you as much.
Could be.
Part of the arrogance that bothers people, but all prize fighters have arrogance.
Yeah.
It's like it's so common. You kind of have to have a certain amount of arrogance and bravado to be
fight.
successful.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't all. Some of them are pretty humble. They keep it to themselves. But inside, you know, like there's a bravado there. And you know, when it comes from a super good-looking guy, it's
hard to take.
people don't like it.
It's hard to take. That's why people get mad at me, man. I still got hair. You know what I mean?
You do.
So, you know, yeah, no, it's been. I've had an amazing career. The UFC thing has been my hobby. I try to pick every fight before it happens. Within about 30, I made it into the round by the way they walk and move and stuff and everything. It's like a hobby.
Weren't you entertained by that Luke Rockhold fight though? That was very entertaining.
Phenomenal.
That was an incredible fight.
Phenomenal. I loved him for that because he let it all go.
And there were scenes in it that were like a movie where he said,
Yes,
"Fuck you," and then he punched him in the
it was
face.
definitely a movie. Even you said it.
It was
you
like a movie.
said
Yeah.
on the thing, this is like a movie, and I was like, it is like a movie. It really was.
It's like if you saw that in a movie, like, come on.
Especially if you got to know him and had his life before and realized that this was his real, in his way, because he's been so beautiful. This is his license of manhood, because now he can actually be tough and beautiful.
Well, he was even when he was the champion. You know, he was a Strikeforce champion,
Right.
and then he was a UFC champion. And when he was in his prime, like, see, the thing about an elite high-level fighter, this is the reality of it. The consequences on your body are so grave.
Yeah.
There's so much going wrong. Your neck, your fucking shoulder, and your knee. It's always happening. And so these guys only have a few years to perform at like the elite level.
I saw it with Victor. When that first guy knocked out. He went across the ring. He didn't bang,
Vanderlei
bang,
Silva.
bang. It was,
Yeah.
it was,
He charged
no,
Vanderlei
the guy
Silva.
took half his face off. It was in Oklahoma.
Oh, so
And
you talking about the first fight? So the first fight in the UFC, that was against Trey
Victor
Telligman?
ran across, with the redheaded kid.
I don't think he had red hair.
Or he had light
Trey-
hair, but his
light
face,
hair.
he had to go to the hospital. He broke the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I would imagine Vitor had crazy hand speed.
He did, in those
Still
shoulders,
does.
in the shoulders,
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah, then he beat Scott Ferozzo and won the tournament, the heavyweight tournament. He was 19 years old.
Yeah, I loved it when he took out the bar fighter.
An ally has been slain.
Tank Apple.
Yeah.
You were telling me
In the
that
choke.
you knew Carlson Gracie, you knew all
I
those guys.
trained with him
That's wild.
for 3 years, man.
Was
Every
it
day.
when he was on Hawthorne?
When he was at my house.
Oh, he came to your house to
Yeah,
train you.
with Victor.
Oh, but that was back when they were calling him Victor.
Yeah. I introduced Victor to marijuana because he wouldn't train, and I got him loaded, and he stayed in the gym the whole day.
Really?
Yeah.
He wouldn't train unless
Well,
you
he
got
was
him high?
lazy. He was lazy. A lot of guys that are good looking and built like that, they're lazy because he beats people up like that.
Wow, he was a spectacular.
He was, yeah.
He was so fast.
Yeah, that's when I called Dana and I said, remember me? We almost bought the thing together and da-da-da.
When I think about a guy like Vitor, who's really like at his best, at like between 185 and 205 pounds.
Yeah.
Like if Vitor had come up now, where the weight classes are already established, and he wouldn't have to be fighting heavyweights. Like he was fighting guys like Randy Couture. Scott Ferozzo was a big guy. If he was able, from the time he was 19, to fight like at the weight class that was like natural for his body, he'd been one of the greatest of all time.
I tell you the name, see if you remember. Al Stanky.
Oh yeah, sure.
Found him in. I put Victor with Al Stanky.
Oh, no kidding.
He's
Al
a
Stanky
Hoyas
was
guy.
hilarious.
That's how he learned. How to fight.
People
Victor.
I forgot about Al Stanky.
I found him
He
and I
brought
did a
him again.
movie on him.
Al Stanky was hilarious.
In the Compton, he was a tough motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
He could swim. We would race in the pool. I would do 10 laps, he would do 30 laps in the water. He's like an amazing guy, but he taught Victor how to bomb, how to weave, and everything.
Yeah.
And there was, in the UFC in those days, there was no stand-up. It was all on the ground, almost. 80%.
Well, nobody had ground skills like Vitor had, but
And
also had the
good
kind of
box.
hands
Yeah,
that he had.
exactly,
That
yeah.
was what was interesting.
Yeah.
I just think that if you go to like the early part of his career, if that guy was in a weight class that was natural to his body, like 185-pound weight class, something like that,
I agree with you. Would have been one of the great champions.
he would have won the big one.
Yeah, I trained years ago.
Like 240 pounds.
Yeah, I know.
Way too big.
He got to 241. I went to 280. I'm now down. I got to lose another 30 pounds. Because I feel like
What are you doing to lose it?
no food, raw fish, and vegetables, and that's it.
Raw fish.
Yeah.
Huh?
I love it, man. And
Yeah?
I have a chef, and she's the greatest chef in the world, and she cooks for me wherever I go. And I got to lose another. I want to get. I'm 260. I want to get down to. I really like it down to 200.
Do you have a trainer?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
Brazilian, great guy.
That's awesome.
Amazing black belt trainer guy, champion from Brazil. I brought him over. He's fantastic.
So
You
you're
know?
doing jiu-jitsu with him?
As much as I can because I'm over.
Yeah.
My knee.
So he's got you doing other stuff. Yeah. That's great. Having someone like that, especially for a guy like you, who's very busy. Yeah. Having someone like this is my job.
I train my life. When I train, I live in my spa. I live in. I've never gone to an office. Everybody who revolves around my schnoodle. I have great talented people. And we're talking to people. You do it all.
Yeah.
You just tell me what you want to do, and they figure out how to do it, and you adjust it. I do that. I run like 30 companies.
Oh, that's genius. That's probably fun too.
I'm excited. That's why I'm breathing heavy.
Yeah.
Like I want to
I know
go.
you seem excited.
I am. This
Get
is
fired
it.
up.
I
Talk
will
about
do this
training.
again. This is my one. I didn't. I was going to do a book. They gave me like a big advance. Barbara and everybody got angry, so I gave the money back and I never did it. This is the first time I'm being it, where someone could watch and say, "Oh, that's who he is."
Well, I always think about it just like having a conversation. Like I've always wanted to talk to you. Just think, when I look at your body of work and the history that you've had making movies, it's incredible.
You know, I when I did Stars Born and we came back from everybody put me down. I was like a joke. I was a pimp. I was that. How dare me produce the biggest movie with the biggest star, and I must have a 12-foot dick. Although I did learn at night that I'm actually a lesbian. So I really learned how to make love with women once I saw my friend, this model, and this little lesbian lady, and I said, well, what do you do? How did you get her? Because I would always come too fast. I could never make it work right. You know what I mean? Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And I learned now that with my wife, my lady, 3 hours. It becomes an orchestra with my love for her and my gratitude that she saved my life by bringing spirituality into me. Because I was like getting tired of living.
So when you say spirituality, like in what form?
Studying Joe Dispenza, genius. You should look him up. He's fucking 100,000 people shows up. 100,000. Amazing. Studying people every night for 6-7 hours, learning with therapy, working on what it was like to be in jail as a kid, see my father die in front of me, my best friend shot as he was going over the fence in juvie. A lot of stuff that happened to me, kid.
You just glossed over some pretty crazy stories.
Yeah.
You saw your father die in front of you?
Yeah. Shit, piss, go. It took a long time to get over it, but I never got over it. But women saved my life because every time I got somebody good, she was smart, she was talented, and she filled in that thing. Barbara gave me a career, and my wife gave me love.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And Peter Guber, I love him. He broke up, not in a good way. One of the smartest, most wonderful men I ever met in my life. I wish I had not lost him as my friend after a partnership of 15 years.
What happened? How did it go south?
I almost fucked his wife.
Oops.
We got so close that she started feeling for me, and because I'm a talker and Peter isn't, she started getting very connected to me. Not in my intention, not in my want, it didn't thing. I didn't, but I did feel romantic because she was different than Barbara too. She was very loving, but I never touched her, and I think that was a breach that my karma, it kicked my ass for 10 years. I was so fucked up by losing him. It took me a while to get myself back and to take responsibility for what I did. I never touched her, but she would come to the jacuzzi with me and 10 other girls, smoke dope. It just got too close.
Is that one of the hardest things about putting together all these films is the relationship
Yes.
between all the people that are involved?
Yeah, you have to be a master manipulator.
And you got to be with each other all the time.
All the time.
Because you're working 16 hours days.
16 hours days, and you have to get them to do things they don't want to do. I didn't do the thing with Dana.
And you
I
have
didn't
to
want to be in Vegas for fighters. I wanted to be the girls with titties.
When you go titties,
I love titties.
Show me.
But I I was a professional ladies' man because I was a hairdresser. So every day, if I wasn't busy, I had to go out and find pretty girls and say, "Come on, let me do your hair."
When you're doing these films and it takes like 16-hour days and there's all these different personalities you're juggling, how do you keep like a vision of like
Same way you guys did in the UFC. I have a vision of the movie. I sat with Dana and I said, "This is bigger than the Power Rangers, Dana." And Dana said, "I never thought." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Because you guys were naked and thing, and I was dating Catherine Zeta-Jones. We went through a big fight in Oklahoma, where there's a gun show right here. After the fight, the Brazilian wiped everybody out. All the red guys, redneck people, they started fighting with us. And I was with Catherine and Victor and Hoyce and Hickson and Carlson. Everybody got around us and walked us to our car to get us out.
Wow.
And that's when Catherine said, "Man, is Victor sexy?" I said, "Okay." You know what I mean? I said, "Let's open it." I opened it with Dojo. I did everything I got. I put it in business.
Wow. It's a crazy history. You've done a lot of wild experiences in your life.
Yeah, that's when I was a boy. My dad was an American Indian, Cherokee. My mom's Italian. So I was riding horses early, and they came to cast the 10 Commandments. And I got picked out of like 1,000 people to be in that and meet John Derrick, Cecil B. DeMille.
Wow.
And I was an extra riding on a big bison with a little goat. And the guy said, "If any of these animals go to the bathroom, call pickup," because they go to the bathroom, it's that big, because they're like 1,500 pounds. So we're going down the thing, and my little goat starts to shit, and I went, "Oh, pick up," and they cut, and DeMille came out and said, "Who said that?" I said, "I did." He said, "The fucking big ones, man, not the little ones. Now shut the fuck up," or something like that, you know.
Oh, he should have been more specific.
Yeah, well, they're just teeny things.
Yeah, little pellets.
But yeah, so from that time on, I got hooked in the movie business. So something about, look, the UFC is a movie. I went to Dana years ago and said, "Listen, I want to do your movie."
Yeah, but can you encapsulate something like the UFC in a 2-hour movie?
No.
But you can do your best.
You'd have to tell the story from the Gracie's angle.
Yeah.
And the street fights and the
UFC
14-hour
1.
fights.
Yeah, UFC 1 is the story.
Yeah.
That's the real story. That's the Hoyce Gracie story.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the real
me.
story.
That's how I got in.
Yeah, how come
Hoyce, Hickson, all those guys, they were my guys.
no one's really done a movie on that?
No, but that's the thing I want to do. And then I can involve Dana and you and all this stuff, but I want to tell it from Brazil. And
great
then
idea.
bring it back.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
I see it in my head. That's what happens. I see things fit.
Gracie was the most important man in the martial arts.
Totally.
The most important, the most important contributor to the overall.
Watch a TV show, and the lead actor to the show is on. It's like live. It's like if it turned out, because when we did it, the police would come. We'd have to leave. The cops would come. You know.
They've got it so the whole world practices jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I see it.
And it was all them.
The
I mean,
kids
they
are
started
the
it all.
kids. Yeah.
It was, yeah, having Hoyce on TV for UFC 1 started it
Yeah.
all. I remember it.
And you're a big part of it.
Well, thank you very much.
Big part of it. You're part of that culture. In other
I'm a
words,
professional fan.
Yeah, well, you
It's
are.
nice to-
and the way you handle yourself is like Dana's guy. And between the two of you, without compromising each other, you do a brilliant job. If you left the show, I would be very upset.
Well, if Dana
As
leaves,
a fan.
if Dana leaves, I'm gone. That's
There
in my
is no
contract.
show. Without Dana.
No,
There is
no.
Take it down to 60%.
Yeah, what he does is very
He
different.
knows what the fighters are. He knows what their drama
Yeah.
is. Shut the fuck up. You know how hard it is to do this fucking show? You don't know fuck all. You don't know how to fucking fight. Now shut the fuck up.
He's a real guy.
Oh, man, he's great.
He's a real guy. Like,
He's
that's
great.
really him. He's a real guy all day long. That's
I'm
Dana
nothing
White.
to him. But to say that he loved me, and you know why? Because I made Vision Quest. And Vision Quest, he said, changed his life.
Changed so many wrestlers'
Yeah,
lives.
that's it. That's what I was learning to wrestle, and that's why I did that show. And I found Madonna.
You know, it's
Madonna
one of
was
my
in Vision
favorite
Quest.
scenes in that movie, in any movie. Is the scene where the guy who works at the place with him is telling him
NFL opening week was action-packed. Get ready for week 2. More touchdowns, bigger plays, and even bigger payouts with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets this Sunday. Look, just bet on any NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 points any time during the game, you get paid instantly, even if they end up losing. Where's that happen? DraftKings Sportsbook. Fight fans, DraftKings Sportsbook also has you covered. Don't forget about the highly anticipated trilogy happening in Vegas this Saturday. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code ROGAN to get 200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. We're playing football this year.
Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. Liquid IV is a product I use almost every single day. I use it after hard workouts, sauna sessions. I use it if I got a little tipsy the night before and I want to make sure that I don't get hungover. Liquid IV is a fantastic way to hydrate yourself and replace your electrolytes. And the science behind it, their hydration multiplier, it is great tasting, non-GMO, and the electrolyte drink powder is powered by cellular transport technology to deliver hydration into the bloodstream faster and more efficiently than water alone. It has a precise ratio of sodium, glucose, and potassium, plus 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. And it tastes great. There's awesome flavors, tropical punch. I love acai berry. They got pina colada, guava, lemon. They all taste great. And there's a ton of different flavors. You can grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 15% off when you go to liquidiv.com and you use the code Joe Rogan, all one word, at checkout. That's 15% off anything you order when you use the promo code Joe Rogan at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com, promo code Joe Rogan. Tap the banner or visit this episode's page about a soccer player. Yeah. And about how he is watching it at home, and just for that one moment, everyone gets elevated.
Yes, it's true.
Yes,
True.
it's a great speech,
Fight
though.
the other night when I had the first time in my life, and I've seen 1,000 fights, and I've been in 200 of them to the death almost in the street. When that guy was getting beat up by that black guy who was punching him like a bag, I looked away. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah?
It was the first time. It was so brutal. And it looked great. On the other hand, what's he going to do when they come across him? And really, Bob and Weave.
Which guys are you talking about?
The black guy and the Samoan guy.
Oh, Cyril Gahn and
Yeah,
Tai Chi
I'm bad
Boxing.
with names.
Yeah, no
Sorry,
worries,
yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyril Gahn, man. God damn, that was good.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah,
He's such a smooth striker.
But it was a perfect storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't have anybody coming at him. This guy was big punches. He was always open.
Well, Cyril Gahn is just very agile.
Yeah,
He's very
he was
unusually
great.
agile
That's
for a
why,
big
listen,
guy.
when we started, there were no black fighters. I used to say, when we get the black fighters in, you're going to see rhythm and movement and punches and things coming from here and there and everything else. Dancing, man. Life is a fucking musical. You're either in it or you're out of it. And you have to make your own life, which is what all these guys talk about every day, their own musical, where they own pieces that work to make your life to make you happy. You have money, you have nothing. Take it from me. This year, twice in the hospital for what they call accidental suicide. And because we were breaking up and I was self-medicating legally, but not so much. And luckily I was...
That's a hilarious definition right there.
What?
Legally, but not so much.
Yeah, right.
I was self-medicating legally, but
Yeah, exactly.
a little sketchy.
Yeah, so it's I know the feeling
Yeah.
of just, especially at my age, 77, people, I'm preparing them for this. I'm preparing them for this. Beautiful. Think the way I do.
You're alive right now. All you have to do is just keep pushing. Yeah, man. It's like when you're at a certain stage in your life, if you're mobile and you want to do better, you can do better. If you're alive, you can get better. 100%. Everybody can. You feel better.
I know a lot of billionaires who are dead.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's so much stress involved in that kind
That's
of a job.
the problem.
Do you see Mark Zuckerberg's training MMA?
Yes.
He's really pretty good
Yes,
at it.
yes, good
It's
for
like,
him.
I mean, for a
Good for
guy,
him.
he's doing the right thing. I'm looking at the exercises
I
they're
saw
doing,
him on
the
the
drills.
show. I saw him on the show.
He was great. Interesting.
And that's one of the...
Crazy job that guy has.
Yes, he's a genius.
Yeah.
And now he has to feed the genius.
But I mean, imagine being responsible for 3 billion people's content, and also you have shareholders, and also you have like CEOs and all these people in media.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to sleep. I don't know how he does it. And he said that training was one of the best things for him because he was running, but unfortunately running, he said, made him think more.
Yeah.
So he's thinking about all these problems while he's running.
Quiet time. And
But when he's training,
yeah.
right? But when he's training, he can't think of anything else. Like when someone's trying to tackle him,
Everything can hit.
exactly. So all you're focused on is that, and that cleanses the mind.
Have you ever been in a fight where
You mean like a full combat fight?
yeah. I mean, like a street fight.
No, I didn't really get in street fights.
Yeah.
No, I avoided street fights. I mean, the last street fight I had is probably when I was like 14.
Yeah.
I had the last one I got in, I lost, and the guy didn't even hurt me. He got me in a headlock. Like, I didn't even know we were going to fight. I was like, why is this guy staring at me like this? Like, he got in my face. He grabbed me in a headlock, and he threw me to the ground. And he got on top of me in the bathroom, the boys' room. And he went like that. He was going to punch me, and then he laughed. He was like, nah, I don't even have to. And he just let me up. And it was humiliating.
Yeah.
It was humiliating. And then I realized, like, oh, my God, I got to learn how to wrestle. And then I would join the wrestling team. And then when I wrestled, I was wrestling, and then I started doing Taekwondo the same year. And I liked Taekwondo a lot more. I just liked the idea of knocking someone unconscious. It was very exciting to me. Yeah. So I got involved in that, and I did that for.
There was a time when Jerry Bruckheimer was partners with a guy named Don Simpson. Don Simpson was a genius. So was Jerry. Top Gun is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Great
I've
fucking
seen
movie.
it 10 times. I just watch it over and over and over and over. It's so damn fucking brilliantly done. It's like I did Stars Born 2 years ago. We had the soundtrack. We have the thing. They had everything.
And at the time, Top Gun was just blew the roof off the roof.
This one that they did now.
The new one you did better? I need to watch it.
Oh, I haven't watched the cameras. You're in the cockpit then, and they go like this, and you're in the cockpit, and you got the music, and you got the score. Talk about a musical, it's a musical. Wow. And he's phenomenal. You're gonna go, how's he doing that?
Do they play Highway to the Angels on?
Yeah, the hair steps on the back of your neck, man.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
It's crazy.
That's amazing.
It's a brilliant movie. I called Bruckheimer. I said, look, you're the camp man. I love you. This is a brilliant movie. But see, it's like I am with them, the way fighters are with each other. You know, somebody's good, they're damn good.
Right. Yeah, there's some, look, that's a classic movie. That's a goddamn cool. Do you have a favorite at all the movies you've done?
Well, I like Batman because it was one that it broke. Nobody had done anything like that before. And I had a big affair with Kim Basinger over there, and we fell in love. And I hired all UFC fighters to fight my stuff. There's no such thing as UFC fighter, but those guys.
Martial arts guys.
Hit guys from the tongue, sword guys.
Oh, wow.
2 guys went to the hospital, they got cut because I pushed the limit of it. And we shot it with the fight sequences. We shot it. It may not look like it today, but in those days, Tim Burton was going to use a 6-inch knife.
Michael Keaton was a great fucking
Genius.
He was a great fucking
The best. Because he's the best actor in the world. He's one of the top 5 actors to ever live. Look at his career. Look what he does. Look what he did on Quaaludes or whatever he's on. Psychic. That 3-hour piece. And I'm sure he's in the program. I know he did because I hired him out of a movie called Clean and Sober. And I saw in his eyes he could fight, because as a kid I got in so many fights, but I would read your eyes before I'd even make a move. If I saw something I didn't like, I'd probably figure a way to get out of it. You know, and that's how I went from Hollywood to the chairman of so many biotech companies. That's been great. Because I have good instincts, and I kind of have like ordinary taste.
Did people resist? They resisted Michael Keaton back then.
Nobody wanted?
Yeah. They didn't like that idea that a comedian, because he was a stand-up comic.
Yeah, they wanted a 6'3" guy to come in with the big muscles.
Right.
I said, no, look in his eyes. He's a killer. He'll stab you 5 times in the neck before you even know what happened.
Is he your favorite Batman?
Yeah.
Christian Bale's a pretty fucking good Batman, too.
Brilliant. He was
Pretty
brilliant.
fucking
Yeah,
good
those
Batman.
two guys.
That guy is willing to do things that most people are not willing to do. Like, he's willing to get fat. He's willing to, like, almost die of starvation.
That's how they have a career.
Yeah, it's just like, if you watch that Machinist, which is not the best movie, but what's interesting about the movie is just Christian Bale. The fact that he's basically a skeleton.
Yeah.
He ate like a can of tuna and an apple a day.
They're crazy. Most
He's a
actors are
nut.
crazy. He's a crazy.
And then,
You
like,
have
6
to
months
be
later,
crazy.
he was Batman.
Yeah, I know.
Jacked.
I know. You
Yeah.
have to be crazy.
You have to be crazy to be
Jack
that good.
Nicholson is my good friend, and he's crazy as a loon. But
Has to be.
And a brilliant guy. And thank God he kind of retired like 10 years ago.
Watch Chinatown.
Yeah, I
Watch
know.
Chinatown.
I
mean,
do. I love.
fucking amazing.
I know.
Like, that guy, of course he's crazy.
You
How
know,
else could he be that
you
good?
can't. I'm standing on a corner, La Cienega and Santa Monica, and and with my wife at the time, Leslie Ann Warren. She's pregnant with my son. This goes back 50 years ago, maybe, whatever it was. 4 guys pull by in the car, and they go, "Cinderella sucks," and they flip it off. Now, I'm from the Valley. So I said, just wait. She played Cinderella on television. That was her thing. So I said, wait here. I jumped in my car, and I chased these guys down the street. I caught them at a signal. I came up next to him. I was about to hit him. He said, no, no, no. I'm in her acting class, man. We're all actors. That was a joke, whatever it is. Many years later, I do Witches of Eastwick. And we're going to meet Jack Nicholson. And as I walk in, he looks at me and says, "Hey, Cinderella sucks." It was him.
It was him?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my
yes.
God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, no,
You almost beat up Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it was
That's
like,
hilarious that it's him all those years later.
I was defending what I thought was my
incredible.
pregnant lady.
How fucking good is he in The Shining?
Yeah, no, he's
I watched that again recently too. God,
he's a
genius.
yeah, he's a genius.
There's a few of those guys that like they. Have you ever seen the video? I'm sure you have. There's a video of him warming up for his scene where he goes through the bathroom door with a hatchet.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
And he's just like jumping around the room and getting himself
yeah,
fired
he's
up.
crazy.
I'm like,
And
God
he's
damn.
he never knew how to fight, but he's a tough guy.
Yeah, well,
He'll fight if he has to.
he was an
He's got
extraordinary
big, strong legs.
talent.
Yeah.
There's people that just like captivate a story. And so like when you're like casting, when you're like putting together a film,
Yeah.
and you got a big film that's very important to you, how do you know who the right guy is? Like, do you just go on instinct?
How do you know who the good fighters are? They speak to you. They speak to me. In other words, I knew that Brad and Angelina together in the right thing would be amazing, right? And it's a love story. Fell apart. So I'm going to get Brad again, and I'm going to try to get Margot Robbie or somebody like that. But if I get it for a guy, I want to work with him. If a girl gives it to me, I want to work with her. They speak to me.
They speak to you.
Yeah.
So for you, it's just about how you communicate with
Yeah,
them.
and when their energies,
The
what
feeling
they've
you get
done.
off of them, right.
Victor Belford, when I saw him the first time roll with a couple of, like 3 guys in a row. And when Catherine Zeta-Jones went, ooh, amazing, his balls rang, they were those little tight things, he's ripped like shit. I come in like, I'm doing my sit-ups and stuff, So, no, it's just like I have a gift of instinct. Look, I've been following you from the beginning, man. Of all the people in the whole world, whether it matters, you're the only one I wanted to talk to because I figured you're the only one we get what I am. I couldn't talk fights with anybody, and I really love it more than anything.
Well, I appreciate that very much, and it's an honor. It's an honor to have you on. It really is.
Yeah, so I'd love to come back another time, sometime maybe.
You can stay on now.
Oh, good.
You know,
Okay,
fans.
great.
You keep going, man.
Great. So listen, I'm going to tell you something that's not supposed to be. I shouldn't say this.
Don't.
Okay,
Don't get yourself in trouble.
Okay, I don't want to get
I think
in
you already got
trouble.
into a little trouble.
I
probably.
did already. All I can tell you
I
is,
love that. I love that you're you, though. You know what I'm
I'm me,
saying?
man.
But I love that. That's the hardest thing that people have. That's
I
the
don't know
hardest
how to be
problem.
anything else.
So many people, they get stuck at a job
My
where they can't be
sister
themselves.
died yesterday.
What?
Yeah, and I found out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it really shook me up because she has 5 kids. She was 58. She had been having a hard time, but she just had a fall and thing and a blood clot and this, that, and her hands.
Oh.
So, I didn't want to cancel this because this is more important to me. I'll be there tomorrow. I'll help take care of the business. She has a husband, but these things happen. And I told you, when that happened with my dad, it hardened me. It hardened me. And not until I met Julia did she really open my heart. And then came craziness, drugs, because my heart was open. I was feeling good and bad things. Once you open that door, man, a lot of shit comes out. And that door can be opened by your children, by your wife, or whoever.
Yeah.
But not everything comes out good.
So you realized before that you were kind of protecting who you were.
Totally. I was numb. I was dating 20 women at a time. My plane would pick them up in Paris and bring them here and jacuzzi and this and covers of magazines. I was like a
So you were
madman.
distracting yourself from all this
Totally.
stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Till I met this woman, therapist, Dr. Bita, and I just sat on her couch and we both cried. She held me for an hour and I began to unravel the mystery.
Have you done much psychedelic drugs
Early on,
early on?
yeah. Psilocybin,
How long early on?
not like today, probably 30 years ago.
How come you haven't done it more recently?
Because anxiety scares me and I'm afraid if I lose control, what's going to happen.
The way to get over that is to do it slowly, like microdose.
That's what my girl wants to do. She
Yeah.
said, let's microdose.
I think it would be good for everybody. It's it's really good for soldiers who come back with PTSD.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm a soldier. I came back with PTSD.
Yeah,
Went
it's,
to juvie. My early beginning, my stepfather beat my mother up every night.
Mm-hmm.
One day I got a 2x4 and broke both his legs. That's how I got to juvie.
Yeah. That's 100% the same kind
Yeah,
of thing.
I used to watch it for a year.
Trauma.
Blood, yeah.
Yeah, that's real PTSD.
And he would drink, and
And that affects kids
Yeah.
sometimes in a way that they don't even realize until
when
they're
I would
adults.
fight Joe, I didn't feel the punches. Ever. I went right through everybody. I never lost a fight. And I was a gymnast.
You never lost a fight?
Never. Now, a lot of reasons. I wasn't a professional fighter, and I could choose where I got it. It was the only reason.
So you just made good choices.
I made good choices. I made good choices. Absolutely. Could I have lost a lot of them? Yes. I started training. This fellow took a liking to me years ago. His name was Art Aragon. And he's a Spanish fighter.
great name.
Yeah, he's a Spanish fighter, and whew, he had razor blades for hands. And he early on taught me how to box. And so I had a mixture of lots of things. And Bob Otto, we were going to talk about Bob Otto. My grandfather, who worked for the May Company, was a big department store, the Italian side, Pagano. He ran the alterations department, and he had a lot of people working for him. And so in the valley, he had a couple acres, and he had a house, and one of the houses his gardener lives on. His gardener was Bob Otto, the early teachers of the Gracie's dad. And he started, the first thing he ever did was choke me out with my own jacket.
What was Bob Otto's style?
I don't know, jiu-jitsu.
So when you say early teacher of the Gracie's
Well,
dad, what do you mean?
in other words,
he trained with them? Is that what you mean?
When I met them and I brought it up, they acknowledged him, and his dad had known him. On what degree?
Oh, so they trained together.
They may
Something.
have, or their reputation maybe, because Otto was huge, had the 2 schools, 500 kids. I mean, he had a big operation.
Right.
So I learned early because the way I was going to Van Nuys, and Van Nuys Junior High School in those days was all Hispanic, a lot of fighting.
You know who's a super legit martial artist and an actor is Chuck Norris.
I trained with him for 4 years.
Did you really?
Yeah, on Ventura Boulevard
No kidding.
with my son. Yeah,
What years was this?
I don't know, long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I trained
Chuck
with him.
Norris was a
Those
legit
kicks.
karate champion. Yep, incredible kicks.
Yeah.
And then recognized that he needed to learn jiu-jitsu, went to the Machados, and got his black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's legit, 100% above
Yeah,
board.
I
He
know.
brought in the Machados to all of his Chuck Norris academies. They all taught them. They were all like humbled. They like realized, like, oh my God, I'm so vulnerable.
Yeah.
All these guys back in that day,
Yeah.
like in the Gracie in Action series,
Yes.
all these guys thought they were killers. They
I
were
know.
so vulnerable. They had no idea.
I understand. I was there.
It was amazing.
Watching those guys do 4 or 5 fights a night.
Yeah,
When
incredible.
that crazy man came in with the cross. And,
Emo.
And
Yeah.
ponytail.
Yeah, Hoist was grabbing him by the ponytail and punching him in the
Yeah,
face.
I know. I loved it. Man.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I
Caught him in an
loved
armbar.
it.
It was
Yeah.
that was like a 4. We talked about it the other day. It was like a 4-minute something fight.
How about that Oriental guy and the fireman holding each other, bang, 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 bang.
Oh
bang.
yeah, Takayama and Don Fry.
Don Fry was
Predator
one.
Fry.
If he could move,
He was one of the toughest men that's ever lived.
wow,
That guy was a fucking monster.
amazing, man.
He's all banged up now because of all his surgeries. And
Yeah.
he did some pro wrestling too, which is not so
Yeah.
good on the back either. You know, Don Fry was a beast.
Yeah. I've had a lot of my back has been a problem too.
Yeah, everybody that trains.
Yeah, well, you
trains
can.
hard.
Well, you'll see when you
Yeah.
get older. You're a kid.
I'm old.
Yeah, you're a
I'm
baby.
55.
Yeah, you're a baby.
I'm a baby. Oh, nice.
I'm 22 years old.
yeah,
You're
I'm
a baby. You look like a teenager, man.
Yeah, like a teenager.
Look at your life.
Like a little kid. Yeah,
Look at your
well,
life.
basically
you smoked a
childlike.
joint and
Yeah.
you made your life work.
Very childlike in that regard.
No, inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's exploring the things that you really dig and like. And it's inspirational. A lot of cool people in here. I love everybody.
Well, I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that I could have conversations like this with
Thanks,
you. It's
thanks,
fun.
man.
It means a lot to me.
It means
It's
a lot
a cool
to me
thing.
too, man.
Cool thing
Means
to be
a
able
lot
to
to
do.
me
And
too.
I'm glad you chose this.
Thank you.
I'm
As
honored.
I wanted. And
I'm honored.
I said to Dana, I said, he's the only one who'll get me. Otherwise, no point. What's the point?
Yeah. Well, when Dana contacted me, he's like, I hate fucking doing this.
Yeah, I know.
He always, because he doesn't do it. most of the time,
I
people-
know.
But with you, I went, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's
Yes.
go. Let's
well,
go.
I'll tell you a story that he won't tell you.
Uh-oh.
He,
Don't tell me that.
he-
Don't tell me the whole world. If Dana won't tell me,
Yeah.
don't tell the whole world.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell the world.
Okay.
So I called him up and I said, look, Dana, I said, I got an idea. Let me do a little special on the fighting girls of the UFC. He said, done. So I said, okay. So I put together a team. I started putting this thing together. I had these amazing girls hosting it. It was incredible. He calls me back almost when it's done. Actually, it was almost done. We were just done editing. He said, can't do it. They don't want any outside producers. And I'd already spent 60 grand. So I went, that's cool, man. I love you. I said, I don't want to cause a rift. He said, you said yes right away because you love me, not thinking that the new company has rules. And I'm a kind of an outlaw in Hollywood, so I get it. And that was that. And he was a mensch. So when I called him, I said, look, I need a favor. I really want to do this before I die. I said, it's important to me to speak and then take a look at it and see what I look like. Because I don't know really. And he said, I'll talk to him. That was it.
Well, I love Dana to death. So anytime Dana has something like that, I'm down for it.
Yeah, that was really
He's the best.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
Yeah, I do too.
You know what I say in every weigh-in? I said Dana White when I want to introduce everybody. I say Dana White, without him, none of this would be possible.
None of it. None of it.
Yeah, he's you got to realize like the success that it has now. A lot of it is that guy's driving
Heartbeat.
force. He's a fucking maniac.
Heartbeat.
Yeah.
His heartbeat.
He lives for
Your
it.
heartbeat.
He lives for
The
it.
wrestler guy, I
Yeah.
love him. The heartbeat.
Dana and I'll call him sometimes at like midnight, and we'll talk on the phone for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just talk about fights.
Yeah.
Just talk about fights.
Yeah, I can do that too. Not as good as you guys, but you see, I do know a little bit. You know.
Yeah, well, we've seen them all.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's so,
Up
it's so
close.
crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I've probably seen like 1,000 fights plus. Up close.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you know, the fella, the Brazilian kid that is so damn good looking. Did he do not?
Paulo Costa?
Yeah. Did he not? He looked like he was doing fine. He didn't use all of the body shots he could have.
Well, Luke Rockhold is a bad motherfucker.
That's what I mean.
That's what it is.
It was a tough fight for him.
It's a tough
Yeah.
fight. If
Yeah.
Luke Rockhold was in his prime, it'd be a way tougher fight. If he fought Luke Rockhold that beat Chris Weidman is one of the greatest middleweights that's ever lived. He was a fucking machine.
Yeah.
But the reality of that kind of level of competition is you can only maintain it for so long.
Yeah.
Like every human body has an expiration date, you know, where you start getting too injured and too fucked up. And Luke has been dealing with a lot of that himself. He's not totally healthy. He's banged up. So all these guys, when they get to that point, there's like this point where they're like, bah, where they're just firing on all cylinders. And that only lasts for like a few years.
Yeah. No, I lived it.
Yeah, sure you did. Slightly differently, but yeah.
No, but I've lived it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. How so?
Well, first time was in the fashion business.
That's not the same as fighting.
Well, no, career.
Yes,
career.
But I'm saying, like, with a fighter, they can't
But
come
it is
back.
the same of fighting. Except I'm fighting 500 people to get it done. See, it is the same because I've used that analogy throughout my career, knowing that I could kick the ass of anybody I was doing business with. It gave me an edge in the meeting, in my mind.
In your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
So now putting it all together, doing it together, sacrificing doing it, getting it out, having it really be a hit, it's hard.
I'm sure it's hard.
It's not like fighting.
The thing about the reason why it's not like fighting is because the fighter's body stops working
Yes.
and their mind wants to.
Yeah.
Their body just can't do it anymore.
In a funny way, it happens in my business too.
It happens. I think it parallels in all forms of life.
If you're in the upper 1/10 of 1%, you do have a time when it's all over.
I think that's with everything in life.
It is.
I think that is. I think that's, and I think that's the cycle that's supposed to take place, and then new people come out.
It is. It does.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. And in a good culture, the new people salute the people that were there before.
100%.
Yeah, and it's
Yes, I agree.
it's mutually beneficial, and it's also beautiful. It's beautiful to see the art form carry on.
It is.
Whatever
when
you're doing.
When I saw Touchdown, I was truck on Marine, wherever he was going back, because I worked with him on Flashdance. I hired him.
Flashdance.
I hired him as my line producer.
God damn, you did so many good movies.
Thank you.
Pull up his IMDb. It's great. It's wild to see.
Yeah.
Just producing. How many did you produce?
As far as producing executives, because in our case, executives produce the same thing, because
Right.
we own it.
Right.
We put everybody. It's like Joe.
Like, what's the overall number though?
Oh, I don't know, with everything, 80, 90, something like that.
And
You
so
know?
many fucking hits.
Yeah. Well,
So many hits.
You know,
American Wealth of London, Caddyshack, The Main Event, Eyes of Laura Mars. That's a fucking classic. I haven't thought about that movie in a long time. Vision Quest, the greatest wrestling movie of all time. What was The Legend of Billie Jean?
it was a story about a young girl who took charge of her life because her mother was being raped by her father, and she went after these guys, and she was the first female vigilante.
Click on that. I know I saw that. But that was from '85? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this movie.
I loved her, man. She was a wonderful lady.
I remember this movie.
Yeah.
All right, go back to IMDb. You were Gambler with Madonna, The Color Purple. Wow.
Yeah.
Clan of the Cave Bear. That was
Yeah. That girl was gorgeous. I forgot her name. Yeah. Yeah, she is Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
I have a Daryl Hannah story.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Hollywood, it was like 1994. I was at Cantor's Deli, and I was sitting tableside to Daryl Hannah and a couple of her friends. And I couldn't fucking believe that it was. First of all, she's so beautiful, no makeup, just sitting there chilling, and looked so normal. Just hanging. I'm like, that's Daryl fucking Hannah. And she's just sitting next to me at Cantor's.
Yeah.
And they were real friendly. Everybody was real friendly. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, she recognized that everybody was going to know who she was, but she was like so casual. And they were playing some sort of a game, some sort of a trivia game. And she looked to me, and I had to answer. Just luckily, it was like some state. And it was whatever it was. I don't remember the answer. But like and that was it. That was all of our interaction. But I was like, she's so nice, like so normal.
She is.
She's a person. She is. Even though she's Daryl fucking Hannah. Like, it's one of the first people that I'd ever like sat next to that was that famous. So I was a little like weirded out by it.
See, I grew up with that because my uncles, the Italian twins, they did Marilyn Monroe. They did all the movie stars. So when I was a little kid, I was in their beauty shop. And I got married.
When was the first time you saw like a movie? How old was
it was 3.
So it wasn't even weird.
No. And then I did it as a parent. I do your magazine, clients come, they tell their friends. I was doing 30, 40 people a day.
So how did you go from, was it Barbra Streisand?
Yeah, it was basically Barbra, yeah. I met her, I put the word out that I wanted to meet her, and I'd go anywhere, anytime, any place for free, and I knew the free would get her.
John, are you a hustler?
Yeah, baby, I am, motherfucker, every sense of the goddamn word, man.
Crazy question. What a crazy question to ask someone. It's such a strange question.
I don't know, is Dana White a hustler? Are you a hustler?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you hustle, right? Yeah. Even when your leg hurts, you hustle. Me too. The only difference is that I had to deal with overwhelming anxiety, which I have now pretty much got under.
Well, that's another thing.
Just going into the fight, because everything was like a fight to me.
Right. So you were constantly.
Yeah. So when I was a kid and we were at Van Nuys Junior High School, and one of the Chicanos told me off. I'd meet them in the back of the gym. 500 kids would show up, and we'd go at it. I'd take them out, I'd wrestle them down. Boom, that was it.
Really?
And it happened 30 times. People would challenge me. The kids would come. I always had a sense of dramatic. And one time I knew I couldn't beat this kid. There was the bleachers. He was standing there. I went up on the bleachers, and I did a Superman punch. I dove off the bleachers and hit him.
Really?
I went this way, that way, and he went out. Yeah. I didn't know it was a Superman punch. I used the bleachers as a launching pad for my punch.
That's a creative maneuver.
Yeah, I'm a creative guy.
I get it. I never got in any street fights like that.
Yeah,
I avoided them all.
One time, yeah, I was smart, but
Yeah,
I was
like,
hurt.
I gotta get the fuck out of here.
My dad died. I was in
Yeah,
a lot of pain.
I get it.
I didn't feel the punches. I didn't feel nothing.
Yeah, well,
I got shot right in my chest. I didn't feel it.
You got shot in your chest?
Yeah.
What caliber?
22. So it stayed.
Why did somebody shoot you?
Yeah, it was a gang fight, and I brought a couple of guns, and this guy shot the gun, and the bullet hit me in the chest. And then, like many years later, when I married Leslie Ann Warren, who was a big Broadway star, we went to the doctor, and the guy took me in and he said, "You know you have a bullet in your chest?" I said, "Shh, don't tell anybody." It was in the fatty part of the thing, and it's still there right now.
You still have a bullet right now, so you go through an X-ray, it just shows up?
Yes.
Is that good to have lead in your body the whole time?
Doctors have said it's okay. It's in like a fatty part of my body.
Yeah, but isn't lead toxic?
Probably, it probably should come out, but do I want to be cut? No.
Yeah.
You know, when you get my age,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm done.
How far in it? How far did it go in? Oh, it's only like an inch in?
Yeah, in this part.
I might take it out myself.
Okay. You got an operating room behind this thing. That's good. Smoke another joint. Now we'll be a surgeon.
Got this little Bench-made pocket knife. We're good to go. I'll take that fucker out for you. Yeah, it's I don't think it's good to have lead in your body.
No, probably not. Probably not. You get to a point like when you're every day. That's a good day. Every day I'm grateful.
I hear you.
And I have to work out.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I can't be around negativity.
Well, that's a good rule for everybody in life.
When you're my age, you can. When you're old, when you're younger, it's not so easy. But for me, I don't do it.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
All my people go to therapy. All my people talk about their feelings.
Whoa.
Everybody I have works on themselves. Otherwise, they can't be there because I'm somebody called me a shaman, my wife, but I see things in people, and if it's not too good, and I can't help, it makes me anxious.
Well, you kind of are a shaman if you're leading people in a spiritual direction.
And
you're trying to get as many. The problem with the word shaman is it comes with culty.
Yeah, I try to help
Right.
with money, with spirituality. I spend a lot of my days helping people.
Well, that's beautiful. That feels good, doesn't it?
The best.
Yeah, nice.
Tyson is maybe one of the consistently smartest guy I've listened to with all the guys in the thing. He's not articulate. He fuckers and shuffers, but sometimes he'll say something.
He's a thoughtful person.
He's very.
And he knows a lot about history.
And pain.
Yeah, he knows a lot about pain for sure.
I saw the whole thing on the kings and queens and all that shit, but more so, he's developing his emotional intelligence. That's what gives you a happy life.
You know, I could see two sides of Tyson. When he was not fighting at all, and he was just running that weed company. And he came in, we had the greatest time. We just got high as fuck and laughed and joked around. It was so much fun. And he said he doesn't even work out. And I said, how come? He goes, I don't want to reignite my ego.
That's how I felt. I was afraid to get back in the gym, starting this thing. And then I'm tough on people, I lose my temper, I get edgy. What the fuck, come on, man. Yes, that's when he said that, I went, oh, I feel the same way.
He said something when he was leading up to that fight with Roy Jones Jr., that the gods of war have reignited his ego.
Yes, I'm sure.
It's
But
the greatest statement ever.
if he can find him, he's going to walk through him.
Yeah, well, in his prime, man, he was like no one ever before.
Who?
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
In his prime, he was like no one ever
But he
before.
still is standing.
Oh my God, he does.
See how he twerks his body?
Oh my God, he was training with Rafael Cordeiro. He was one of the original shoot the box instructors from the old, like the legendary gym in Brazil. So Rafael Cordeiro came over. Now he's running King's MMA, and Tyson went to him to train.
Wow.
So Tyson was holding it was hitting mitts with Rafael Cordeiro.
Well, you
It
know.
was fucking phenomenal watching him rip off combinations at 55 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jesus.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh my God,
Well,
still.
you have the same body, so do I.
I fucking definitely don't.
No, in the sense of compact and strong, not long and
Relatively.
and lean. You know what I mean?
I prefer short and thick. But what he is he's he was a phenomenal combination of like a kid who came from a horrible background to getting adopted by this guy who was a genius boxing instructor and having incredible work ethic and having incredible genetics and having incredible drive. You know, he was 190 pounds when he was 13 years old.
Yeah, amazing.
Built like a fucking tank. And Teddy Atlas used to bring him to these smokers, and he said he's 13. Like, get the fuck out of here. He's 16. Like, okay, he's 16. So he'd have to fight 16-year-olds. Nobody believed he was 13.
You know, the thing about Mike is that what beat everybody was his brain. Mike was very smart.
Oh, he's very intense.
Yeah, but he's
He had
smart.
to
He
deal with that
knew what to
storm.
take from Gus.
Yeah.
He knew how to be open to it. He saw the
Yes.
Gus would. Yeah, he's smart.
Well, Cuss was a hypnotist. That's the other thing. He hypnotized Mike when he was very, very young. And he trained him to think of nothing but the task. Like, you don't even exist. It's just the task. The task exists. Don't
Yeah,
think about yourself.
I know. That's how I am.
He was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, you have to be that way. My partner, Peter Hoover, God love him soul. Yeah, he's like that. Everywhere we go, we'd fly around. He'd have 40 pages of notes, and I had no notes because I remember everything.
Don't you think that, like, for anything you want to do in life, like, if you really want to be at the top of your craft, you kind of have to do stuff like that?
Yeah, you have to. You have to be driven. You have to want to be better. You have to almost feel like you're going to die if you aren't.
That's where it mirrors itself in like everything in life, no matter what you're doing. If there's a thing that you find that you're obsessed with, no matter what that thing is, whether it's painting, making music, whatever that thing is, find that thing that you are obsessed with. That is the thing that's going to bring you the most joy. But you gotta like give it everything you have.
100%. Yeah, that's what I did as a hairdresser when I was a hairdresser. That was my thing then. I'd go to Paris, the collections, the girls. I was like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. But I loved doing hair.
How did you get into hairdressing?
When I got out of juvie, my mother, the judge said you have to put him somewhere, so she put me in beauty school. And I had shot 5 guys, and
You shot 5 guys?
yeah.
How'd you shoot?
Yeah. It was an accident. I never said this before.
5 people by accident?
Yeah. Well, no, it was a gang fight. It was a fight in San Fernando, and there was like 30 guys. And
Has the statute of limitations passed on this, or should we edit this out?
yes.
Not to shoot
And
people.
and it was somebody else's. Everybody in woodshop was making a weapon.
I remember that from high school.
Yeah.
At least. To make nunchucks and say they were table legs.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And this guy came with these guns, and these guys would shoot the knife, bang, bang, and then this guy, and then I was like, oh my God, that was the change like that. And when I was in juvie, a guy that I met from Boys Town, which was in the middle of the country, a place where a lot of fucked up kids would go. He came from Boys Town, he ran away, he went to juvie, and a They weren't supposed to. They weren't supposed to have things, and they covered it up. But he tried to get away, and they shot him on the fence. Right in front of the other guy. And he was fuck you. He was. I said, man, you're gonna get killed. You gotta shut your fucking mouth. You gotta take it cool. If you're gonna get out of here, you gotta work your way out. There's no escaping it. Years ago, but years ago when I was with Leslie and Lauren, I was at a beauty shop, and it was on the corner. They were running away with John Peters. OJ would come on the girls. Everybody's on the girls, because I'd have like 40 or 50 beautiful girls getting their hair done all day long. This guy comes in, my mother happened to be working at the desk, and he comes in big overalls, big tall guy, and he says, I'm here to see Cinderella, you know, Leslie Ann Warren, and I came as I'm her husband, and he was like a fan of Mission Impossible, whatever it was, I don't remember at the time. Next thing I know, we went home that night, and he had been there in the colony. He had come to the colony. So I sent out a bunch of my guys, because a lot of the hairdressers I had were guys like you. They were tough kids, and they got out. Women were like,
Sounds like a movie.
it is. My life was like a crazy
That
movie,
does sound
right?
like a movie. A bunch of tough guy hairdressers out there protecting you.
Right out in front.
Wow. Tough guy hairdressers on motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's a movie.
When the thing was over, the LA Times said they don't make hairdressers like they used to, because the guy was coming into the house. He had a little pistol in his hand like this, and he was walking in. I had a mezzanine. I looked at him. I was naked. I jumped on the mezzanine, off the mezzanine, jumped on him. He went through the
Jumped on him with his pistol?
Oh yeah, I didn't see it until I was in the air.
Oh, jeez.
And he was like this, and it was dark, and it was backwards.
And you're naked.
And I was naked. Yeah, I woke up. I could hear him walking around. I wasn't thinking. I just moved.
That's a surprise. A naked dude jumps on you from a mezzanine?
And he ended up with 160 stitches. He came in wild. He came to
Jesus
So
Christ.
we fought out into the colony.
Naked.
Me naked and him in the farm row. Yeah. Good thing I didn't get a hard on, right? Oh my God.
Good thing. You got a question?
It's a true story. I believe it. Look it up in the LA Times.
That's a wild story, man. How have you had so many stories?
Well, because I grew up, John Wayne, Elvis, you know, I'm a living superhero, even though I don't ever do anything, but in my mind I am.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Because those narratives are like stuck in your head.
That's why I like Victor. That's why I like, when I saw John Jones, I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
They love conquerors.
Yeah, yeah. And the wrestler guy I didn't like at the beginning, now I'm madly in love with him.
Which guy?
You know, that beat everybody, kind of chubby. You're a commentator fella, you know.
Oh, DC.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier.
Me.
Yeah,
Love
oh,
him.
he's incredible.
I love him. I love him.
You didn't like him at first?
But didn't like him. He didn't fit the view of what I thought he was supposed to look like. You know what I mean? And but I did like him, but not as much as John Jones.
Just his physique?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, and just that he was more of a. He would more of. Yes, it's just he was. I like John Jones. He was my hero.
See, one of the greatest of all time is Fedor Emelianenko. And Fedor has the most unimposing physique. I mean, he looked strong, but he like had like a
The Russian.
Yeah,
Russian.
the Russian.
Oh, yeah,
he had
no,
like
I
a little
saw.
bit of a belly,
Yeah,
and he was always like calm and
Yeah,
relaxed,
yeah.
and he would fuck everyone
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Well,
he would
always-
fuck everyone up in his
I
prime.
always had good hands.
Yeah.
Big, strong hands. Yeah. And you know, I'm almost 80, so they shrunk. You know.
Yeah.
but yeah, I knocked a lot of people out. Yeah.
When you look at like Daniel Cormier, like he reminded me in a lot of ways of like Fedor's physique.
Totally.
Like
Absolutely.
they don't have low body fat, but
Yeah.
they don't get twisted.
Yeah, well,
the guy's a
if-
phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, I know.
Both of them, DC and Fedor. Fedor
Yeah.
is a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
He was so good. You
He'll
never
be-
saw him fight?
I did, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, many times.
That was one of the biggest regrets.
One of
that they
the-
never got him to the UFC.
One of the great fights that I saw was the black Telderman, whatever, the black guy with blonde hair, and that raised guy from Europe.
Kevin Randleman and Mirko Krokop?
No, the other one, Kevin Randleman, and the guy. My son said he was in a bar once, saw him knock out about 10 guys. Boz Rutten.
Oh, Boss Rudin.
Oh my
yeah.
God, was that guy tough?
Oh my God, Boss was a machine.
I saw him fight.
Yeah. He was the first like intelligent, aggressive attacker. That was like a high-level structure. Fighter.
And built to fight.
Oh my God. You know, he fought Kyosho Kosaka, and his neck was so fucked up that he couldn't even wrestle. He couldn't do any wrestling. Like he had like some serious disc problems in his neck. He wound up actually getting his neck like later on in his life. But he like even when he was competing at the highest level, his neck was already fucked up. He was a fucking monster.
Yeah.
In his prime, Boss Ruud was a fucking
I know.
monster.
My son was training with him.
He was one of the only guys that won off of his back. When he beat Randleman.
I know.
Randleman took him
I
down.
know.
He was just smashing him off of his back.
I saw him. He was
very effective.
Bang, bang, bang. I saw it, yeah.
It was very effective. But you can't just assume that just because you're on top. If you're getting fucked up while you're on top, you're losing the fight.
But it's also called the guard.
Yep, yeah, and Randleman was an
you know.
elite wrestler, but Boss Rudin had like a very effective way of attacking off his back. He was so powerful.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he was a machine.
Yeah.
He really was.
You know, if you see like an alligator go after its prey,
Right.
they move back and forth, boom,
And jive.
in, yeah.
Yeah, moving around a lot.
Okay,
John
man.
Peters, you're the fucking man.
Yeah, I
Thank
love
you, sir.
this shit.
Appreciate you very much.
I got some great stories. One day I'll tell you again. Maybe.
Tell me more. Let's
Yeah.
keep going.
No, I can't do it anymore. I'm tired already. You know what I mean? You wore me out. Can't you see it? I'm vibrating in the
You're
chair.
great. You look great, man. You look great. Thank you
The
very
guy
much.
that I watched the other day, because I studied all your shit. So I must see
You studied?
by every single tip you did. Almost.
Oh, boy.
And all your clients. Yes, I wanted to learn. And what I learned was, well, I can be as honest and whatever that is. And
You were yourself.
yeah, that's
Goals
it.
of
That's it. That's it. And this is, you know, I relate to these kids. I love these kids. I've been fortunate enough to make a ton of money. And I buy and sell companies for hundreds of millions of dollars, and I've been really lucky, and I'm going to really start to now put some money to work in a way that's going to help a lot of people.
Beautiful.
Because I love, there's nothing that he's had everything. I like bringing him. I love giving. Because he's a sensitive soul.
Yes.
If you think he's anything but frightened about this place, he's frightened the fucking death of it. And in that, and as he gets better, he's building his confidence little by little. But he won't really feel good until he absolutely explodes. That'll be the climax of this thing. And the real question is, will he be able to wait him out? Because that guy's going to be dancing and doing, and Tyson's going to have a hard time navigating that. He'll have to cut off the ring. It's not going to be an easy fight, because otherwise, if they fought, my God, I'm frightened for the other guy. Tyson would break him in half.
What fight are you talking about?
Tyson in a fight, maybe it already happened. I don't know.
Which fight?
The boxer?
Roy Jones Jr.?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that already happened.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it happened like a year ago.
Oh, what happened?
It looked like, if I'm being honest, it looked like they really like each other and they were trying not to knock each other out, but they put on a boxing exhibition. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. Like, there wasn't a lot of headshots. You know, they moved around a lot, and Mike Tyson hit him with some ferocious body punches, and Roy Jones Jr. is tough as fuck.
He is.
Because those are hard shots. Those are hard shots for
That's what
boxing.
Yeah.
And, you know, Roy, he's had knee problems, so it's hard for him to train properly. Like, you see him running, it's kind of painful to watch him run. And Roy's knees and his footwork and his movement was a giant part of his success early in his career. I mean, he was so fleet
I
of
didn't
foot.
see the date on the tape, sorry.
Oh, my God. If you watch the Roy Jones Jr., you saw Roy Jones Jr. He was fine.
Every fight.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. But that sort of style relies so much on speed and movement. And
I was in Sugar Ray in the UFC. And he said, spar with me, and I hit him in the
Sugar
knee.
Ray Leonard?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Hit him in the knees. What the fuck? I said, it's called M&A. I want you to take a look.
It's called M&A?
Well, it was called
that's a drug.
Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Right.
Remember the orange thing?
Oh, yeah.
I had all the shirts and stuff. You know, I went around everywhere. My arms were big. You know,
You doing leg kicks?
Oh, I've been doing leg kicks since I was a little kid. Wow. But I would do leg kicks. That's what I want to tell you what Don Simpson's story is. We had an argument. I chose him off meeting in Beverly Hills Park. First thing I did was put on my big boots because I was in the club and kick the fuck out of me before he put my hands on him. He didn't show up. Afraid. But I was serious. Because he was taking snaps at me. And I said, oh, we can fight. He didn't.
So how did you know Sugar Ray?
Through everybody I knew.
And
This guy, Jeff Wall, just passed away. He's got looking up his daughter. He's a great guy. He managed all these guys. And I got friendly with everybody.
And you would spar with them? You sparred with Sugar Ray Leonard?
Oh, yeah, but not spars.
Just play
Yeah,
spar.
yeah,
Play spar.
yeah.
Because like that was back when Sugar Ray was still Sugar Ray.
He was not fighting then.
But how old was he?
Well, I don't know, but he was. I met him socially. So we didn't really do the sparring. We did was in the living room of somebody's house.
So
It wasn't in the gym. Yeah, we were fucking around. But
Sugar Ray still works out all the time.
Yeah,
he posts stuff on his Instagram. He still gets after
that's
it.
how he stays young.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see.
And he's got a great wife, and he's a guy of everybody, for the most part, that has really done it all. Got a great family, got a great wife. He looks like he's made some money. He was an amazing champion. He's had a great life.
Oh, he was the elite of the elite when he was in his prime.
I flew in from Paris to see him fight Hearns.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the first fight?
Fucking A, man.
Wow.
I was in Paris with Michael Jackson when he did his first thing, when he did Thriller and all those things. And there was riots in the streets. When he started doing his shit, man, Michael, and he was
John Peters has got a hell of a lot.
yeah, and so have you. I'd love to come back at some point.
Yes.
Because then I can think about what I did.
Yeah. Tell me some other stories. Fuck yeah. Come
All
back.
right, man.
Thank you, brother.
so much.
Appreciate you very much. All right, bye, everybody.